Howdy do, howdy do. So, you know, definitely wanted them to get in their lane. That is pretty much it. Hyenas on the treadmill. Oh, they mad right now. They're a little upset right now. They're a little upset right now. Excuse me. So, yeah, that was that. They'll be all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What's up, love? What's happening, beloved? I couldn't spend too much time on them, bro. I was gonna go in and then I thought about it and I'm just like, let's give them a little bit, just a little teaser so they can get on their way. You know what I'm saying? They got a ways to go. And I certainly hope they find their way. What's up, Alito? What's up, Liz? I hope they certainly find their way. But I had that really interesting website. I don't know if you guys were able to check it out. I don't know if you guys were able to check it out. Love you too, love. What's up, cousin? Hi, Davita. Hi, D. One moment. Let me see. Okay. So I hope y'all had Halito, what's up, Chief? I hope y'all had a good time. Earlier this morning we was chilling with that document. I wanted to go back to that document and I also wanted to show y'all some other clippings that I took. Give me 1 second. Let me go get a bottle of water. I got a little post nasal thing going on right now. Still remnants from whatever it was that I was fighting. So y'all gotta give me 1 second. Let me go get another bottle of water. And this time I'm gonna make it a warm bottle of water, not a cold one. Hold on. Okay, KK, I'm back. I'm back. Love and light, beauties. Hi, Annette. How are you, beautiful sister? How are you doing? What's up, Pamela Hall? How are you, darling? I hope everything's healthy for y'all. Oh man, y'all coming to the No Grandma Killer tour? I certainly hope to see y'all beauties there. It's gonna be really nice. Let me see. Definitely want to do that. Let's get that going there. Let's get that going there. Um, what else was I gonna say? Do. Tell us what you think, vendors. We definitely want to hear from you. Make sure you call. So let's go back to that interesting little article, that website that we were viewing earlier. I find a lot of that stuff so fascinating. We were having a good old time checking that out earlier. Osiyo, American Leo. We were having a good old time earlier, chilling. That document again. It'll take you. I mean, it was really cool. Just check it out. Check it out. This is an article. Well, one of them that I pulled up to show you guys. I thought this was just like hilarious. So check this out. Thank you so much, David. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you did. I just saw a question about the census. Hold on, let me try and go back to that. Let me try and go back to that. Let me see. Un momento. Okay. Let me see what you said. Un momento. Oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play back. Oh, D, if you would make it out there. Oh, you said it might be too soon. I thought you were saying that you'd be able to. CO, USC, what's up, beloved? How are you, beauty? What did he say? I know I saw something that I had to. No, there were census records tied. There it is, Ty Hawk. That's the first federal census of the United States. There was no census for the United States anytime prior because they just got established in. Well, no, I'm lying. There's a 17. There's some continental censuses, but I've seen census records from the 1500s, 1600s. There's a 1625 that I know of. One of them European. There's a couple of Indians on there too. But they have a 1625 like Jamestown census. Mobile. A lot of Florida has a lot of census records. The Dutch kept census records too. So I don't know when you guys look and find like if you bump into any Mohawk relatives or from the Iroquois tribes, anything like that, especially in the New York area, you might find that they have Dutch names as well. And they were attached to the original Dutch settlers the same way the European settlers were in Virginia and the Carolinas and Spain, as they colonized different areas. So you can guarantee that there's probably some of those Van Vulcans and all of that kind of crazy shit. It can be a little difficult, especially when you have, absolutely scraped up and down the East Coast and even into the Canadian records and the Acadian ancestors. You can see migration patterns from Virginia and North Carolina into Canada, particularly Nova Scotia. So there's a lot of different activities there. You'll find these documents all over the place. Don't just limit the ancestors to just, oh, my grandfather said they was born in Georgia. Okay, they were born in Georgia and didn't mean that they came from Georgia. They could have been from Mississippi. They could have been from Florida. Or maybe they had a vacation spot in New Jersey that, you don't think it's them, but you see them at this place every couple of years and you don't know that that's, somewhere they used to have their family reunions at. So this is, again, where you want to look up. And I forget the website, and as soon as I think about it, I will let you guys know. But there's a bunch of Bibles that they have collected, and they've begun to upload them. And you won't find a whole bunch of them, especially our Bibles, where there'd be 20, 30 kids from the family listed there, births, deaths, marriages, additions to the family, son-in-laws, and so on and so forth. But they also had tons of pictures and stuff like that that kind of just went into oblivion in different historical societies. So yeah, you definitely want to start checking some of these other repositories too. So now this is North Carolina 1775, and again, I'm reading some of the petition analysis records. This is for Craven County, and this says in 1769, on a voyage from Cuba to Jamaica, free black sailor Antonio Murray loaned a fellow sailor, John Taylor, a pistol. Arriving in Jamaica, Murray demanded its return, but Taylor refused. The two men fought and Murray, being a black man, was taken up at the instance or complaint of the said John Taylor and jailed. Antonio was then sold as an indentured servant to one Timothy Clear, who paid his jail fees. So remember how we were talking earlier, and he had incurred some fees as a result of him being convicted of something, right? Anytime you had to be jailed, you had to incur some type of fees. And that's just really kind of the gist of it. You incurred some sort of fees. So give me 1 second here. Okay. So, you got to keep in mind how slavery is not exactly what it is that people thought it was, So anyway, they pay his jail fees. Antonio charges that Clear gave him unmerciful whippings frequently for 6 years. Finally, Clear sold Antonio's time of indenture to one Thomas Parson. Parson still holds him in bondage and treats him cruelly. Murray petitions for his freedom. So these are some of the things that was going on. Let me see what's going on right here. Oh my gosh. You guys, I am just absolutely done. I just got like the funniest inbox ever. I'm just like flabbergasted in my JC voice. Shout out to the Bay Area. Okay, so let's go back. Let's look for another petition here. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Search petitions. Now that was North Carolina, I think, right? Yeah, there was the only one there. And I'm just going over the states where I left off from earlier. We had started from the bottom and kind of worked our way up to the top. So you got Wilkinson County again, Mississippi. I think we read this earlier. We actually did do Mississippi. Missouri. Okay, let's go there. Nothing in Missouri. None of those petitions there. Maryland should be interesting. Maryland has a bunch of records. Bunch of records. Just in general. Rachel, a woman of color, claims that she was born a free woman and therefore justly entitled to her freedom. She relates she was formerly in the possession of a certain Clement Green, who was taking your petitioner to back country to sell her. Arriving in Frederick County, Rachel made an application to the court to summon Green to appear at court this term to abide by any order or direction which might be commanded by your honors. Green responded by selling Rachel to Richard Freeman, who not only refuses to permit your petitioner to come to court, but also holds your petitioner in slavery. Rachel prays that your petitioner be permitted to come to court and that Freeman be summoned as well. So you couldn't even, they made it very difficult for people to be able to have their justice, right? So even in the instance where this woman knew how to have this petition filed, she knew she was being held against her will. So again, it's the same thing. The way the system is very unfair. And if you don't know it, you get beat down. This is the exact same thing that was happening in antiquity, right? It's nothing but the same turd warmed over. Same turd warmed over. So this is another one for Maryland. That was Frederick County with Miss Rachel. Doesn't give her last name, but that was for Miss Rachel. Shout out to Miss Rachel, fighting to the end to get hers. Right? I wonder if anybody says your name, Rachel. So you have this is 1775 Maryland. This is Charles County. Sarah Duncastle petitioning on behalf of herself and her minor sister Elizabeth Duncastle asked that the defendants be required to give an account of two slaves, Linda and Lucy. Sarah states that her father, John Duncastle, mortgaged the slaves in his lifetime to Daniel Jennifer to satisfy debts. He mortgaged the slaves in his lifetime to Daniel Jennifer to satisfy debts. He mortgaged the slaves in his lifetime to Daniel Jennifer to satisfy debts. So you're lending out your employees, you're sending out your team of contractors to go and take care of something. So you can picture some of these slave masters, especially the ones, the very, very large ones that had like almost Walmart type of plantation styles, right? You had your Warren Buffetts of the plantations too. And they were the ones that had the day laborers, right? They were like labor ready. You work today, you get paid today. Honest days work for honest days wages. Only thing these Negroes didn't know what they were signing up for, and these white men weren't honest at all. A lot of the colonizers weren't honest at all. This is their production. This is part of their livelihood as well. Okay, so anyway, it says subsequently, the petitioner's mother, Elizabeth Duncastle, opened an ordinary tavern or house of public entertainment to support herself and the girls. In 1766, when Jennifer advertised to sell the mortgaged slaves, Elizabeth Duncastle entered into an agreement with Thomas Howe Woodgate. He offered to purchase Linda and Lucy to be held in trust for the petitioners, and in exchange, Elizabeth would provide services at her tavern for Woodgate. Now, Sarah claims that Woodgate refuses to give her an account for any financial support. She also claims that Linda and Lucy have been in the illegal possession of Woodgate and his business partner, John Barnes, and that in 1773, Woodgate conveyed the slaves to John Rogers, Thomas Stone, and Philip Fendel, also named as defendants in the suit. Alito, Orlando, what's happening, Danielle? How you doing, beloved? So you see how they used to just, it's a lot of railroading and things going on. It ain't none. It's no different. This is like what the American Civil Liberties Union would be doing. This is kind of some of the things that they'd be responsible for. The NAACP should have been, Johnny on the spot for. You understand? These are some of the things. So I'm just kind of going through the states here. Let's see. DC. Okay. I didn't put any specific name. I'm just checking. Nothing for Delaware. Arkansas, I'm pretty sure Arkansas should have something. And Alabama. Oh, duh. Let's see. Nothing. Okay. So now we're going to go back and search for subjects. Now, abandonment. In 1808, John C. Mangum, this is in Florida, 1843. John C. Mangum married Ann Mackenzie in Glenn County, Georgia. His wife left him in 1827 with the pretext of suing for divorce and recovery of certain property, then in possession of your petitioner. Still married in 1831, Mangum gave his wife all his slaves by a deed of trust during her life, hoping this would resolve their difficulties. Shortly after receiving the slaves, however, Ann Mangum moved with the slaves to Florida Territory to live with her daughter and son-in-law. Mangum wrote letters asking her to return home, but she refused. He seeks a divorce. Okay, so they were in Glenn County, Georgia. She took the slaves over into free territory. Florida. So you have Mississippi, 1830, 43 Monroe County residents asked that a Jasper A. McQuarrie be compensated for the upkeep and support of an abandoned, insane black girl who was brought to the county in February 1829 and left by an unknown person. The girl was incapable of laboring for her support and is an object of the greatest pity. They also request the legislature to make some permanent provisions for cases like this in the future. So there are some of your poor and orphans that I was telling you about that ended up in asylums and what have you. So a lot of people have fell off of the whip. You lost them in records. You haven't been able to keep up with them. A lot of things have occurred. Certainly, mental health has always been an issue from the beginning of time, since time immemorial. Maybe not as prevalent as it is now, but we definitely know once the invaders came on the space, the Indian ain't been all the way right in their mind, right? We definitely know that for a fact. So now you have this is 1804 in North Carolina. This is Mecklenburg, Charlotte, Mecklenburg. I think I read that earlier. That was Cassandra Houston. Yes, we did read that earlier. Okay, this one here. Sarah Johnson seeks a divorce from her husband, John, on the grounds of bigamy and abandonment. Bigamy and abandonment. He had him a few broads. Sarah states that they were married for 9 years until John left her without assigning any cause for his conduct or giving your petitioner any notice of his intentions. One second. Oh, sheesh. Let me see. So she reports that she set out to find him and trace his whereabouts. She was able to track this man down in 1805. She tracked his whereabouts to various towns across North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia until she finally learned that he took shipping for Ireland, his native country. She charges that John, before his departure, squandered and made way with the principal part of 9 slaves of which she was possessed at the time of their marriage. When he abandoned her, there were only 3 slaves left, and she has sold 2 to pay his debts. She sold 2 of the slaves to pay his debts. She confides that during the time they lived together, John told her he had another wife, of which your petitioner had no suspicion until a short time before he went away. Sarah therefore prays that the General Assembly would make void the marriage contract and grant to your petitioner a divorce from the said John Johnson, and also secure your petitioner all such property as she may now be in possession of for her relief, she being destitute of any support. So John essentially took all the shit and ran, and he went and shacked up with some other chick. No, nothing new. This is Rowan County. Christian Limbaugh seeks, this is 1805, North Carolina. Christian Limbaugh seeks a divorce from his wife, the former Katharina Hess. He asserts that Katharina, whom he left in 1799, had an ungovernable temper, and her immoral and indecent turn of mind led her to be connected with other men. Citing his short marriage as a state of the most poignant misery, Limbaugh reveals that his wife has later delivered one or more mulatto children. He further avers that in 1804, at March, term of Salisbury Supreme Court, the said Katharina was convicted of having barbarously murdered her infant child, which was generally believed in the neighborhood to have been a mulatto. She, the governor, however, pardoned her as she stood under the gallows. Limbaugh therefore submits his unhappy situation to be acted upon as you in your wisdom may think fit, firmly believing that a bill of divorce would be passed in his favor. So these people have problems and shit going on, all in the middle of all of this stuff. So people don't realize these are all tangible things that you can obtain, certainly for your view and pleasure, but also for your build. Also for the build. Let me see. there was some other things that I wanted to. Now this is North Carolina. Lucy Cook Self seeks to secure her right to a slave named Tisha before she went to the Western country with her husband in 1803. Self states that her father gave a certain Negro wench named Tisha, which said wench was by virtue of the said deed of gift to be my property at my father's decease, which said Negro remains in my father's possession, lamenting that she lost her eyesight about 1806 and her husband departed from her and left her in that doleful situation and never returned to dwell with her anymore. The petitioner prays that she be granted some relief by securing to her the aforesaid Negro wench together with such other property as she may hereafter acquire. Yeah, so she has some serious things going on. She has some serious things going on. You're going to find these articles very, very interesting. Very interesting. Here goes some wins. You'll find a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You'll certainly, if you find any of your ancestors on this website, you'll be able to actually have this petition, and could be certainly part of any family story that you pass down to the kids. I mean, this is interesting, actual real life history. So some of these things would be a great collage of things to put together. Just to have access to something that is more presentable. I know, cuz how you doing, beloved? Um, there's going to be these documents and you'll be able to have them, like to be able to pull up a 1813 court record with a whole entire story, with a grievance, or whatever it is that they were fighting for. It shows that they were fighting. They were not just acting like suckers like everybody thought, just getting bust upside their head and all that crazy stuff, you know? So just kind of these little things, these little caveats kind of tell their story in a different way, from a different perspective, whether they was successful or not. They still tried. They still tried. They fought for theirs. Kama Wengapo, they fought for theirs. And I think it's really cool that we get to see some of these. So again, they have instructions on top of this to order the original. So if you want to get those, and then it'll tell you how to obtain copies of these petitions. And then there's a plethora of all these books. I'm pretty sure they compile like a tremendous amount of information. And these things are available through WorldCat. So, you can check any of these institutions and see what it is that they have. Certainly, you'll be able to find the microfilms with the dates. And this is telling you what wheels that these series are on and the wheel numbers. So that's pretty cool. Certainly, when it comes down to family search, you want to make sure that you no, I don't need that one. This is what I needed. You want to find your learning center. You want to find your family learning center. You'll be able to, the Family History Center. I forget what the hell the name of it is. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Family Search. I think it's Family Search History. I keep forgetting the name of it. Certain records, when you're looking, it'll tell you. There you go. And you pull a map up. If you're in Boston, you click on Boston. So this is everywhere in the world that they are able to. Hey, Marlon, Halito. What's up, Nighthawk? Everywhere in the world that has a family search center. So you have, the closest one for Russians is Mongolia. You even have Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, South Korea, Japan, New Papua New Guinea, Australia, New Zealand. Of course, you have all of Asia here, China. There aren't many in China. It doesn't look like that. You got one in Thailand, you got Indonesia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, certainly here in Europe, in the Slavic areas, the Finns, Finland, Swedish, Ireland has it, Italy, everywhere. Not so much going on here, I guess, huh? I don't really know why. But look at that. Isn't that interesting if you look at there is a whole bunch of stuff missing in this region here for Africa. Is a big chunk of they make it really, really hard. And this is North Africa. These are, and I find this incredible because these are all your free white people. So I'm going to assume that most of their records are going to be with the Europeans. With the Europeans. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So now you have, let's see what you got going on here. I'm pretty sure these are, oh, I don't know about all that. Okay, this is Cape Verde Islands, I believe. Yep. Canary Islands. So, and then here you have Brazil. And these are where you find your Brazilian records. Halito, Yolanda. These are where you find your Brazilian records. Not just Brazilian, your South American records. But it will tell you where these. Now, these are going to give you. These are where you are able to get copies of the originals. In the Family Search Center, there are going to be records that you can't see on Family Search that you remember I told you guys about the Mormon when you have it's different when you have a Mormon account versus just having the regular Family Search account, right? So that is going to be where you're able to sometimes you have to make an appointment, right? Like the one that I go to is in Baldwin, Long Island. No, excuse me, Baldwin, Long Island. They have a pretty decent schedule, but I also go to. I haven't been to the one like in East Elmhurst. There's also one out there in Queens. It's kind of just easier to get to. This particular place in Long Island, but you have to make an appointment. So sometimes they have weird hours, like from 9 to 12, and then they're closed for 2 hours and don't open back up until like 3 o'clock, and then they're closed again at 5. That's a place that you can go in and you want to absolutely just stay for a very long time. Like that's how how interesting it is. So you'll be able to get the copies. Sometimes, they'll be shaded out. And it'll tell you where to obtain the records. I hope y'all writing down and cataloging the real numbers and stuff like that so that you'll be able to track what it is in the event some mishap happens. You'll be able to track what series it came from and all sorts of different information. So now you have your Caribbean here. Of course, you have plenty of them here in Venezuela, Colombia. You got one here in Georgetown, Guyana. You got one in Paramaribo in Suriname. I'm sure that was served for French Guyana as well. Yeah. So now let's look down here, down by Terra del Fuego, down in Argentina. Okay, so there are some here. Not a whole lot. Definitely not anything. Oh, look, they got a few down here in this region as well, by the Falkland Islands and whatnot. Machu Picchu base and Antarctica and all of that. Okay. Base Okay. Okay. So then, of course, they got tons of them in Peru and Bolivia. It's pretty interesting. So they've got quite a bit of these family search centers all over the place. So everybody has like an opportunity. Young Cherokee, what's happening, beloved? I would love to go to Cape Verde too. I would absolutely love to go. Sao Paulo, I would absolutely love to go. Okay, so you have the Caribbean, and here's Trinidad and Grenada, Barbados, Dominica, Montserrat. They're all over the place. So now, they are starting to put several categories are getting added for the provinces of Mexico. You notice these little communist bastards right here don't have any, right? Cuba, because they participated in the slave trade up until what, the 1890s? Cuba doesn't have much, and they ain't got shit to lose. Ain't really nothing that people can do to Cuba. In essence, really, it's kind of sad, quite sad. But anyway, so you have all of these different facilities that you are able to attend. Um, this is New York. So there's the Hempstead office, and then this one here, I believe, is the Baldwin, New York, and then of course there's those out by Shinnecock and out down. They don't have too many more once you get past like Mastic, but um, definitely have access. I don't know if you guys know the eugenics building used to be in Long Island too, but yeah, so you have these 10 queens that you can go to, and then when I'm up in Saratoga, I'm able to go to Albany, to the capital of New York and stuff like that. So there's Boston, there's everywhere. There is one, you need to find it. You'll be able to get records that you generally just can't get. And it'll tell you where they're located. So when it says that they have the record and it's really nothing that you can click on or nothing to view, it'll have the notes where it's cataloged in Ancestry at the bottom, where you can, with reel it's on, with microfilm. Um, yeah, and you'll be able to order that, have that library. They will get that for you. Sometimes you can bring Virginia or bring wherever your ancestors are from to you at these centers. I wouldn't go in there talking too much, letting them know, oh, you're Indian and all that. Some of these motherfuckers been going into these offices just talking all this shit to these people when all you got to do is shoot your shot. And when they try that black shit, that's when you do all of that spiel and all that. But just going up in every place feeling like you got to go through all of that and ain't nobody ask you, that shit it's not jiving. You don't want to just overwhelm and shock people and start talking too much shit, and you don't have it together all the way, because them pilgrims ain't gonna be too thrilled about it when you put them that way. They don't really have a problem, if you ask me, but I'm pretty sure if the belligerents and you know imminent threat, they'd feel some type. So, guys, yeah, this is the one I'd go to. Excuse me, in Albany, or even Massachusetts. I'm pretty close to Pittsfield too. But they're all over. They're all over Connecticut, everywhere. So no one can say that they don't have access at all. I hope y'all got y'all tickets to the No Grandma Killers tour. I'm gonna be dropping some spicy meatballs. Spicy meatballs, spicy meatballs, spicy meatballs. You definitely want to do that. You definitely want to do that. So again, these are your family history centers. You get the locations right through Family Search. You know, and that's that. And that is that. That is absolutely that. So Get to that, you get different perspective, different view of things. Um, and that's it. But they're all over the United States. I think it might be worth, especially if you have some family members that were Revolutionary War veterans. It might be a good idea to start checking some of the Canadian records as well because they went on different campaigns. I know when we hear about um, old things in history from school, like from stories about Benedict Arnold and people like that. You know, Benedict Arnold was a real person, and some of our people were on that type of time. They had assistance from Indians that was supportive of their ideas and things politically. So, got to consider that's probably a story I should go back over with Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold. They have a highway named after him in Vermont. Vermont is absolutely beautiful. Yes, I do promote that state. I used to go to Vermont, take my children there all the time when they were smaller. Very, very pristine state. They were paying people $10,000 to move to Vermont. Their population is becoming so old. You have all those people that only had two children during the baby boom. They're in their 90s and their parents are in their goddamn 120s. I'm exaggerating, but that's how it is. They don't really have a lot of youngins to man the thing, but there's and weed is legal in Vermont. There's a lot of opportunity. The things are relatively cheap. There's a lot of space. The only thing, it happens to get really cold. But one thing I like about Vermont, in terms of the cold, it's a different type of cold. Like Chicago and New York is cold. Michigan is absolutely cold. But just how Florida is really hot and it's really humid and it can be very oppressive and sticky and not something that you enjoy. California has dry heat, Arizona has dry heat, and you can kind of enjoy those temperatures a little different because of the lack of humidity. So in Vermont, the air is absolutely crisp, 5 degrees. I'm not saying you can run outside with no jacket on, but I am saying it's a different type of air pressure there. So for people that don't mind the cold, but they generally have health issues because they're uncomfortable, the high elevation in Vermont might do you some good, and that mountain air will certainly preserve a lot of people. That's one place where I see, and I see a lot of people live a long time in those extreme freezing goddamn temperatures. So it's a little different there. Their cold just a little teeny tiny different. But that's about it. I ain't got too much to talk about. I really am going to go find me something to eat and get my life together, go spend some time with my little cousin. She is 11 years old, and she's the only one that has a sixth generation pick in the family. She is my cousin's granddaughter. So she's like my little cousin's cousin. Like, it is so cute. And she has a picture with her mother, who was my first cousin's daughter, her grandmother, and then my aunt, my road dog, the one I'm always with all the time, that's her great grandmother. And then when my grandmother was still alive, she was able to have a picture with her as well. So we keep her real close. I keep her real close to me. I love her so much. She's hilarious. She's damn near bigger than me too, already at 12. But I just remember that day that picture was taken, and I think I just like fell in love with that little girl all over again. So I got her all over the family tree. She's totally interested. And the kids are sharp, man. They sharp. They know how to hold their shit. Yo, I love it. I absolutely love it. Definitely, guys, you want to get your tickets, hit up no grandma killers at gmail.com. Let me put the link in there for the Eventbrite. Get your tickets, get your tickets, get your tickets. You definitely don't want to miss it. Um, you don't want to miss it. We're gonna have a good time. Ain't nothing like the first one either. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like the first one. You definitely need to know that. You definitely need to know. Ain't nothing like the first time. Anytime Celestine would be fine. Probably before noon. Probably before noon. I'm pretty sure we'll be having brunch around then. So anytime before or afternoon, I'll be available. After 7 p.m. That would be fine too. So y'all take care. Y'all have y'all wonderful evening. I hope everything is healthy. You know, we're gonna do the right thing like Spike Lee, y'all. We're gonna have a good fucking time in Atlanta. Everybody get ready. Bring you a couple outfits. Don't be just, just so you just never know how it's gonna shake out. It might get chilly. Don't come down there unprepared. Just come, bring a goddamn umbrella. Don't get down there thinking it's gonna be 90 degrees just because it's April in Atlanta and it turn around and be 50. Come, you want to make sure everybody is comfortable. Thank you so much, cousin. That's what's up. What's up, Jamil? How are you, beloved? You want to make sure you're comfortable. It is Atlanta. You might want to get away from us and go and, cut the rug somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and get fly and go do you somewhere. Make sure you bring your appropriate shit. You don't want to have stuff. They get really fly in Atlanta. You want to get cute, you just want to make sure you're comfortable and shit. Don't come out of town and don't have everything you need. You know what I mean? Don't do that. But other than that, everything is healthy. We got some really dope vendors. So don't be stingy. Make sure you purchase and buy something from your own peoples. They'll be there doing various things, that we enjoy. We're going to do some cooperative economics. Yakoke Uwetsi, we're going to do some cooperative economics, and we're going to have a good old fucking time. We're going to do the shit that they say that we couldn't do. And that's get together, get along, and get it right. That's what it is. Cottrell, if you can't make it out there, we'll see you when we get on that side, baby. That's for sure. Give the beloved fiance my love. I will be talking to you soon. You call me whenever, brother. You call me whenever. You got the number. I hope everything is healthy for the rest of y'all. Young Cherokee, beloved, how are you? I'm sending you warm hugs. You are such like a bomb ass hype man. You give me a lot of confidence. You've always been here, been very supportive, very protective. Peace and shout out to you, brother. I really would love for you guys, especially all the moderators and admins, to come down to Atlanta. I want to do something nice for y'all, being supportive. I appreciate y'all. And most importantly, I want to give y'all a hug. I got the good transfer, this wonderful energy, y'all. And I'm just hoping that, we able to get together and get some shit done together. I think some of y'all are really solid, and I'm looking to make more solid relationships. We got a lot of work to do. There's some things we need to talk about, and we're going to discuss those things. But I am happy that y'all came to hang out with me. I'm going to go and chill with my mama and see what we got going on up there. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got the subscribe to the No Grandma Killers channel. We're going to get that together, but that was done. That was absolutely done. We definitely have the No Grandma Killers channel. It's going to be a various network of all of us working on the same accord. We still have our individuality, but this is the No Grandma Killers lane, and we are all going to keep hitting that lane. So definitely stay in touch. Subscribe to my cousin Tasha Shee's channel, and definitely shout out to beloved Coach Kucut, and many, many others. We got some wonderful people that are going to be in the house. There's going to be other flyers there, and some of those other flyers are going to feature some other names of people that you love a lot. I had to get the headliners on there so you guys are aware who's coming and what it's going to primarily be about. But we do have other people that will be around that you'll be glad that they came as well. So there's going to be some very familiar faces in the crowd, just enjoying the company, enjoying the space. And there's a couple people we're going to roll the red carpet out for, just because they're so awesome with their contribution to what they do for us, and being supportive of what it is that we're doing. So other than that, love and hugs to you too, cousin Donnie. I'm sending love, peace, and hair grease and bear grease and all of that. Don't forget don't let these niggas take your cornbread. You know what it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace a lot, chicken.